Today we are doing the follow-up, the results episode of the reviewing a commercial auction catalogue. So if you didn't watch the first episode, there will be a link below, so make sure that you pause the video before we go too much further and you check out that video. In the first video we reviewed 3 properties. One of them was a commercial property in Winchester, another was a Halford, and the third was an insane building in Covent Garden. Now we have the results. We're going to go through the results, and we're also going to discuss interesting things that happened in that auction that you may not notice from the off. But before we deep dive into this episode, I want you to take a moment, click on the link below to our Portugal Trading Mastermind Retreat. This is going to be 5 days from the 5th till the 11th of April this year in Ericeira in Portugal. You're going to learn how to find the deals, format the deals, fund the deals, flip the deals, and have fun while you're doing it. So remember, click the link below, enter your details, you'll have a phone call with me, and then you, in 2025, are going to learn how to take your trading to the next level.
Okay, so this is the first one, and we actually made predictions how much it's going to sell for. So I said 350,000. No. Jay said, I think 305. Saif said, I don't know how he does it.
For the third and final time, make no mistake, at £281,000. Are you sure you've all done? Sold. Congratulations.
Well, he said 280. Saif, well done. I think this is an amazing deal at 280. We discussed in the previous video that this property was previously purchased for about 350, 360, about 4 years ago. And now it's sort of in a no man's land because it's got about 2 or 3 years left on the lease. But I really think this is an amazing purchase because it's producing 7.7% right now as it is. I think it's got potential to produce way more income, about 40,000 in my opinion. And there were some sales on this street for way in excess of this amount for smaller properties. So I think this is an amazing purchase. Yeah. And someone's gonna do well with it.
I think you're right. I think it sits in that no man's land where it's not really a long-term armchair investor that's going to be buying it. Someone that's going to, and also it doesn't really sit in any kind of institutional level type of, value because they always want sort of £5-10 million plus. So it just kind of sits in that category. But at the same time, it requires someone that's going to be hot on asset management. That's going to be able to understand that potentially you're not going to be able to fund it, so you're going to have to buy it cash. And probably look to try and re-gear the lease or do something with a new, new incoming tenant and then sell it on again. So there's a lot of these commercial property flippers, if you'd like. Although it's the word flipping, it's really paper exercise, and it normally takes a couple of years. They sit on the income and they flip it on. It's a nice little way to kind of get a bit of income and at the same time trade it on and just make some money. So I like it. I think it was a good deal. I think whoever picked it up at 281 has got a really, really good deal there.
So just a quick question, Saif. Were you the underbidder at 280? Is that what you're doing to get these prices? Did you
underbidder or underwriter?
Yeah.
Some people say we filmed these before we actually filmed the prediction one. So yeah, some people say that. Who knows?
Who knows?
They could be right. They could be wrong.
Amazing.
I to be honest, I think the perfect kind of buyer for something like this is a SAS or a SIP investor, right? That the covenant of the charity shop is actually pretty strong. They survived COVID really well. They have tax breaks and they have all these other things. They rely on raising capital from the public, and some of them get government funding and things like that. So I think it's a strong covenant. So I think on that kind of yield, I think someone could have used their SAS funds to secure it, and that's probably why it's sold at around that price.
Yeah, I'm disappointed you guys did not pick this up. This was a perfect opportunity.
We dropped the ball.
You
basically described our business plan, which is we're commercial property flippers. Hopefully it doesn't take years.
Do you think Piot's judgment of thinking it's going to sell for 350 clouded your judgment on buying this? Genuinely.
I can be honest, Jay.
Be honest.
Okay, I'll be honest. I'll blame Piot. I'll take zero accountability on this one if given the chance.
But you know what? I mean, it's even the same for us when we're buying stuff as well. Sometimes we miss stuff, and it might be that we're too busy and something's happened. So, but this is why there's opportunities. So,
but here it is. Here's a consideration for you guys. Let's say we were bidding on that property, Do you think we could have got it for 282? Because I don't think so. Because that person was there for 281. Like, you only need two people to drive this property to an insane level, and
Yeah.
obviously wouldn't go up to 350. But if someone was there up to 350, who knows how much this person 281 would go up against this person us. And
Yeah, good point. Good point.
but
I have seen recently. There's been a few what I call snipers, like literally just come in one bid wonder and just
Yeah.
take the property. So you never know with this stuff. You've got to be in it.
that's right. But I think that the important lesson is you have to be in the game to win things, and that's
Always register.
consideration.
Always register.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were sitting on the sidelines, Piotr. We were sitting on the sidelines watching like schmucks.
We're sitting on YouTube commenting on things instead.
Yeah. It's a bad habit. It's a bad habit.
Anyway, we move on now to the Halfords Auto Centre, which is in Staines.
This one we expected is going to do quite well. It was guided at 750. It sold for 940,000. So basically, this sold at 5% yield. And basically, if that previous property sold at 5% yield, that would be over £400,000. And I think this one's got as much potential for something as the previous one had. So, what do you guys think? 5% yield on a Halfords Centre?
Hi, I'm Michael Alston. I'm the Commercial Director at Roma Finance, and I'm delighted to tell you that Roma Finance have the Flow Bridging range, which is specifically designed for those fast completions, which will come in handy when you're looking at purchasing a property at auction. If you want to know more, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you.
Again, it's a good covenant. It's a decent sized site. You know, it's under 50% developed on compared to the site plan. It's surrounded by residential, which gives you the itch to go, right, when these guys leave, let me see what I can do. You know, a block of flats there isn't an impossibility, just looking at it. Yeah, I still think it was a good deal. I think someone's walked away with something there, because the major fund weren't going to asset manage it beyond getting another commercial tenant in or re-gearing that lease when it came to review. So it's gone to somebody, I imagine, who is looking at it with a more creative viewpoint, and I think that would justify the 5% yield.
Yeah, I think people are not looking at the yield here. People are looking more from a point of view of the future value of once it does become vacant, what can you do with it? So I think it's a blend of yield, because ultimately there is still some yield. It's not like it's been sold at 1 or 2%. It's been sold at a fairly reasonable yield, I'd say at 5. But the reason why this didn't go for 6 or 7 is mainly from there's a development angle in the future and there's an uplift value. So I'd say that's about right. I'd say that's fair, and I'd still say that someone's got a good asset there, to be honest with you. So yeah. That looks about right to me.
Amazing. Okay. Well, the next property was the Covent Garden massive.
Did any of us get anywhere near close on sale price with that one, Piotr, or were we all like miles off?
To be honest, we weren't guessing too much on this property.
I can't remember guessing on this. Well, go back to the video and watch the previous video. Did we guess or did we not? I can't remember.
I think I revealed my personal private opinions on this on private call with guys from Acutus. But I think I said 7 million. But anyway,
honest, on this one,
for the amount of time the bidding was going on, it was literally going on for 25 minutes, and it only sold for 460,000 above the guide, which was 5 million. So I think it should have sold for more. And the bidding was going on in increments of 10,000. It was painful to watch.
I'll be honest. If I had the capital behind me, that like going back in the day, £6 million would have been cheap for this for a long-term hold, because this, like I said in the last video, this would be like a jewel in the crown. It would be a linchpin asset that you would hold. That would just raise the profile of pretty much everything else you have in that portfolio. This is a great property.
I'm surprised the increments that they went up in. I think that, I mean, I don't know whether that took the wind out the sail a bit, just because of how small the increments were versus the actual original guide price. So, I mean,
I would have assumed £50,000 increments to kick off.
Yeah, what do you think?
Then it would have dropped down. Yeah,
5 Piotr? It went up in
tens.
Yeah, tens of thousands. Yeah, so it was
still relative to £5 million start price. Come on, or guide price. That's still pretty smart. I'd say 50 is about right because that's what, about 1% at that point. So
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, so those are the three properties we highlighted, but also there were some other properties that were worth looking at. We actually put together this table of results. We've got the initial guide prices over here in this table and sold prices in this table. So as you can see, we also calculated the difference between the price, the different percentage of a guide. And there was one standout property, the car park, Morrison Car Park, that sold at 101% above guide and only 3% yield. And there was another interesting property that actually sold below the guide at 1.85 million of initial guide of 1.9 million. So quite a big range of things.
It's interesting when they do that because you don't always see reserves set below the guide prices. So that is quite interesting that they've set the reserve below the guide there.
I think it's really smart. There's a psychological play. Not every auctioneer does this. Most auctioneers push the guiding reserve to the maximum of the 10% difference. But some auctioneers, if they're brave, they'll set the guide, and sometimes the reserve will be beneath that, and people will just assume it's 10% above. And then they're calculating all their numbers on, is my offer price going to be in excess of that 10% to be in with a chance of winning it? And then they win it on guide, or 2% below in this instance, which is interesting to see. But I mean, these numbers are interesting, but they have no real reflection on market value or the actual value of the deal. These are just kind of, because the guides are just that. Guides are a marketing tool to kind of get people interested in the asset. But still interesting, really interesting. A lot of the Nottingham Council stuff didn't get across the line, did it? The industrial units that they were offering.
I think all of the Nottingham Council properties actually sold.
Do you?
I thought they had a couple left over. Some
There's
of the
one
bigger
withdrawn.
ones.
Is this? No, this is administrators. Nottingham City sold.
Oh, wow.
Nottingham City sold.
It's all
Yeah,
money.
Nottingham City got rich.
Wow.
They got
Well,
rich.
don't say that because they don't have any money. That's why they're selling these assets.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think those were the kind of assets that you got a lot of local people that wanted to buy them for years and years and years, haven't had a chance to be able to get something like that. Nottingham is very popular. There's not as much land available anymore. And to be able to pick stuff like that up. I mean, I know local business owners that were looking at some of that stuff and they were thinking about it more from a point of view of, I can move some of my business into there in the future and I can start to chop and change it and create multiple little industrial units. That is a huge business right now. The CMO of industrial units have taken a massive industrial unit, which really still has some uses, but nowadays everyone wants these smaller ones. And we even got one close to us that's opened up a paddle court in an industrial unit, and it's brilliant. So it's on a industrial park, easy to park on the outskirts, easy to get to, and it's beautiful inside. They've done up. You go inside, you will not know it's in an industrial unit. So it's great little things that you can use these little industrial units for. So yeah,
Well,
I think it's
safe. I think you've just guaranteed yourself a royal visit from Piotr from Portugal to Lincoln just to come and play paddle.
my paddle tennis racket, my paddle racket has just arrived today, so I'm bringing that over with me as well to Portugal. That's for sure.
Okay, amazing. That's we're gonna have another game. Hopefully, Oliver got some training lessons.
I'm hoping Jay's got some training lessons. Come on,
No,
Jay.
Jay will do what Jay did last time, which is have an amazing lay-in while you guys go and get sweaty at some stupid o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
Brilliant. Okay, guys. Well, make sure if you want to check out our trading retreat in Portugal and play paddle with us in Portugal, click the link in the description, and we're hoping to see you there. And actually, this week we had quite a few amazing results for some of our clients selling properties for them. One of the clients made about £70,000 on a trade, back-to-back trade, selling a probate property. They picked from an agent, and there was a few other really standout lots. So we'll be looking to do more of those kind of things with all of the people who are coming to the retreat for us. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in.